me? But... Huh? What? What's going on? We're still good? Okay, we're still good. I saw the viewers jump to 0. And then it said I had a network error. And so I was like, what just happened? Okay. Okay, no, we're good. It seems like we're good. Jesus. Twitch, you need to not do this. Okay? To not make me panic. Apparently. I don't know. Okay. No idea. None. It's jumped back though. Everything seems to still be up and all. Whatever. We're just gonna ignore it. Keep going, I guess. Okay then. Anyway, Fritz still remembers. But how? Even his father is growing weary of his babbling. Sir Mythos forced him on break the other day. He didn't seem happy. Well, Sir Mythos must think he's crazy too. Poor Fritz. Can you keep a secret? The knights look at each other and I lean close as I possibly can. Apparently the boy spoke some truth. Though Sir Alacaster doesn't believe it, he's looking for the daughter of the previous queen. Eh? The witch had a daughter? The previous queen? Are they talking about Mother? How dare they call her a witch? Apparently she did, though I don't remember such a girl. This is top secret stuff. I just happened to wrestle this out of one of the lackeys looking for her. What would Sir Alacaster need this girl for? I'm assuming she's dangerous and they want to get rid of her. Are they talking about me? I'm curious. How are we supposed to find this imaginary princess anyway? Guess it was on my side. No, you're fine. I don't know what happened. I genuinely thought the stream died too. Cause that was weird. That was weird. Weird stuff happened. It looked like everything went out. And then but everything says I'm still good. So in the VOD, if there's just a little part where it went black, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it was Twitch being weird or something like that. Huh. Where do we... I know, I heard it too. Shut up. Shut up. I was hoping you wouldn't call it out. How are we supposed to find this imaginary princess anyway? Does she have any features? Aye, they described her features. Last man who went looking for her said she wore a special pendant around her neck. I should get out of here. I turn to leave the tavern, but my cloak snags on the door and falls to the floor, tripping me in the process. I end up falling halfway into the tavern, where the chatter abruptly stops. Is this... Oh, a lady. The knights that were talking approach me. One of them picks up my cloak. I attempt to grab my cloak from their fingers, but they pull it away from me and I stumble into one of them. Madam. He moves to take my hand, but he stops when he sees my face. Her face! And a necklace! You think she was spying on us? Witch! One of the knights grabs me by the wrist and pulls me toward him. He is far stronger than the man in the alley was. Unhand me right now. I am no witch! Then there should be no problem. We're just going to take you in, and if there's some big misunderstanding, we'll repay you ourselves, miss. No, let me go. This behavior is not fitting of a knight. Come, miss. Let's go back quietly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. When there's no way we can fight them. We don't have that type of strength. So, try our best, I guess. Good luck. Fighting back is useless when I'm outnumbered. I have to try convincing them that I'm not who they think I am. You are mistaken, sirs. I happened to hear your conversation, and assuming I'm some imaginary princess is unreasonable. The knights look at each other. You know, she has a point. She was listening in on our conversation. That's clearly suspicious. Did you not hear what I just said? I happened to overhear it, nothing more. You were cloaked, as if you were trying to hide your features. Probably should have saved. I probably should have. Alright, well, nope. We're just gonna hope for the best. As if you were trying to hide your features. Being out at night without a cloak is a sure way to draw attention to a lady such as myself. You know, she has a point. She's not wrong. Stop saying that, man. And then, ma'am, there's no problem with us taking you back to the palace. If we're mistaken, we'll clear up this misunderstanding and pay you handsomely. Come on, let's take her to the palace. The knights lead me out into the empty streets. Why? Why did I have to be so stubborn? The knights continue pulling me down the pathway until we come to a narrow street. Everyone who sees us walks away to avoid the knights. Maybe we made the good choice anyways. Yeah, it seems like I did, because I got the little crystal, so we're safe here. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Everyone who sees us walks away to avoid the knights. So, you have to get, if I recall, all the crystals to get the good ending. If you miss a single crystal, you get the bad ending. From what I remember, that's how it works. So, everyone who sees us walks away to avoid the knights. There is fear in their eyes. But I've done nothing wrong. Ma'am, if it makes you feel any better, we're risking our rank in this as well. I don't know. I'm suspicious of who goes there. I look up to see Karma's familiar figure walking towards us. What is he doing here? And why isn't he in his disguise? Gentlemen, I ask you to unhand that woman. As a knight, I would be ashamed to be seen treating a lady so terribly. And who are you? Her husband. What? Yep, that's what he is. His what? Excuse me? Unhand her, gentlemen, or taste my blade. Sir, we were just going to take her to the palace to... I'll give you to the count of 3. One knight keeps his grip on me as the other draws his sword. I stare at Karma, who continues to count through the knight, though the knight attacks him before his sword leaves his sheath. Karma and the knight trade blows, but it is Karma who comes out victorious. His blade sips past the knight's shoulder, distracting him enough to give Karma the opening he needs. Karma reaches back with his free hand to knock the knight out with a blow to the head. It may be just my imagination, but for a few moments, I think I see the knight's blade glimmer across the surface of Karma's hand before he falls. The knight holding me holds up his hands in surrender. I yield, sir. It seems no matter how the situation turns out, you are dishonorable. Please, sir. Karma knocks him out and then stands beside me as he sheaths his sword. Karma, a few moments, Melody. Karma spends some time forcing a potion from a vial down each of the knights' throats. I watch him quietly, fearing he might have killed them, but the knights only seem to be asleep. A potion that Parfait gave me. It'll make the men forget they ever saw you. When Karma stands again, I notice the glimmer of blood on his hand and stare. You're hurt! It's nothing. I'm sorry. Come on, princess. Let's go back. He pulls me out onto the main street and does not let go of my hand. I cannot bring myself to speak. Karma has saved me twice now. This is why you should have brought the knife, Melody. Not only that, but this time he is injured. He says it's nothing, but his bloodied hand does not move at all. Why did I have to be so stubborn and insist I can handle myself? I do not speak for a long time. Eventually I notice people start to stare. So we're about to face Karma's curse. Full on. Though, before long, the staring grows worse. Young women begin to follow us, giggling from behind. I turn to Karma, who looks like he hasn't slept in days. Karma? Sorry, princess, I'm not in the mood to talk. Those girls are walking right behind us. This is his curse. Karma? Melody, I just said I am not in the mood to talk. Did you not hear me? We are being followed. He stares behind us, almost stupidly, and then laughs hollowly when the girls see his face. They start rushing towards us, their voice rising and blending together in a horrendous cacophony. Karma is not moving, though. He looks resigned. Maybe he's too tired to realize what he wants to do. I tighten my grip on Karma's hand and pull him away, my pace quickening into a run as the girls chase after us, screaming at me angrily for taking Karma away from them. Melody, what are you doing? Getting us out of here. Melody. I lead him through the town into little nooks and crannies where we manage to lose some of the crowd. Karma often led me through some of the spaces as shortcuts. Waltz knew them too. Once we were alone again, I stop, falling to my knees and letting go of Karma's hand as I catch my breath. That really was a curse, having to run away from so many mindless women. That was difficult. Melody? What? I did not mean to snap, but the tiredness is pressing on me too. You helped me out of that. Of course I did. Why would I want to be chased by girls? You could have left me behind and gone alone. Instead, you helped me. You helped me too. I guess I paid you back. Though, to be honest, I wasn't even thinking about repaying him for saving me. I just knew I didn't want Karma to be stuck trying to fend off all those girls. He was right about his curse. That is terrible. I just realized something. Karma kneels down beside me and waits for me to speak. My curse has people forget me, and yours has even strangers become fascinated with you. It's almost like our curses are opposites of each other, and yet we seem so similar. My eyes widen when I realize what I just said. We are similar, aren't we? He holds out his good hand to me, and I let him lead me back to the tavern through the abandoned alleyways. My feet are heavy, and all I want to do is sleep, but suddenly Karma is standing before me, his face grave. Melody, I have to thank you for helping me earlier. I'm sorry I froze like that and made it more difficult for you. It was so sudden, and I was so tired, I had no motivation to move. Shouldn't I be thanking you? I accept your thanks, even though I wish you didn't have to thank me in the first place. You should not have gone out on your own when you knew how dangerous it could be for you. I am sorry. I accept your apology too, because I lost sleep over this. I have no words for how I feel right now. Princess. Oh. Karma reaches for my hand again, and this time he holds it up and kisses the back of it. Suddenly all my tiredness falls away. You really are a handful. But a delightful handful. I'm going to bandage this hand, then rest. We'll speak about all of this later, okay? But the blood. The bleeding stopped on its own melody. But it does need to be treated. Do not worry, it will be fine. Are you sure? As sure as I can be. Don't lie. I don't lie, not even for the sake of a pretty lady. Karma lets my hand go as soon as we enter the margin, and then bows politely to me before heading back to his room. I watch him go, my mind whirling. Does he usually kiss women's hands? No, I don't think so. That's what she focuses on? Yep. Matchmaking! You really are a handful, but a delightful handful. His words keep repeating in my head. I cannot stop hearing his voice and feeling his lips on my hand. My face feels warm, and every time I think about his words, my heartbeat feels unsteady. I really have to stop thinking about that. Karma is karma, and he puts on that overly polite act with everyone. But I'm pretty sure I've never seen him do something like that with another person. I'll just go downstairs and stop thinking about all of this. I need to tell Parfait and Delora what happened. Because of the time I returned to Martin yesterday, I never spoke to anyone about what happened. Maybe someone's downstairs. Someone usually is. I leave my room and make my way downstairs to the reception. Hello. Hi! Surprised for receiving him. Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was like, damn, she didn't have a good deed from that? Like, damn. These good deeds are... the definitions of them are quite loose now, isn't it? What's going on? Well, we almost got kidnapped, and then we were saved. And then we, were like, oh, we're gonna be more careful. But we also want to figure out why we were almost kidnapped, so we made a stupid decision, went out on our own, and then ended up needing to be saved again. And then we got a kiss on the hand, and we ended up saving the guy from a bunch of girls chasing us. That's what's happened so far. We also know, we have figured out though that the reason why we were almost kidnapped is because someone from the palace knows about us. Besides our personal knight, who somehow knows about us. And so that's a little bit concerning, you know? And so this is the night after we got that information. Or the day, sorry. It is quiet when I enter. My god, it's the prince, isn't it? Rod? Would Rod do that? Rod's secretly been the one. Yeah, it's been Rod this entire time, absolutely. I don't know, I feel like he doesn't care enough for it to be him. You know? I feel like there's somebody else. I don't know. Who knows? But not as silent as I thought it would be. Karma is sitting at one of the tables speaking quietly. Oh, we're being told on right now. Parfait and Delora. His injured hand is sitting on the table bandaged. I can't help but stare at it, my heart plummeting. His injury is my fault. So, you have yet to hear the entire story. Oh no, it could be someone else. I think it's Red though. I think it's the queen. She's trying to end you. But Ophelia's nice. At least she was. I mean, we don't know much about Ophelia. Who's to say if she remembers us or not? Who's to say Ophelia's good or not? You know what'd be a crazy plot twist? Our mother's still alive. Melody's mother still being alive and actually trying to be the one. That would be crazy. I mean, she's so much of a bitch. Like, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So you've yet to hear the entire story? No, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid I'm not quite privy to the information Waltz has, is that correct? Waltz has been directly involved in this far longer than you have. What about Waltz? Imagine it's the king and he just lied in the beginning about not remembering you. The bastard! It's been the king the entire time. He does remember you. That's why he wants you dead. He was just hoping you weren't alive anymore. Damn, that'd be so fucked up and sad. She wants to be the fairy. Yep, that's the reason. Oh. Princess, you're up early. They all turn to look at me as I stand at the table. Karma still looks tired and is not in his dress. He looks somber, but he still smiles at me. Melody, how nice of you to join us. When did he start saying my name without my title? Melody, you've run into a lot of different mishaps this week, haven't you? I thought you'd be stubbornly avoiding work. Instead, you go out of your way to get yourself into trouble. This involves me directly. How could I not be curious? You've also been irresponsible, sneaking out without any of us knowing. I have the freedom to do whatever I want. I even wore a cloak, too. Oh no, the cloak. I left it at the bar. I feel a nudge at my arm, and Karma is holding out my cloak with a tired smile. You went back to get this. When? Yesterday, when you were still in bed. You've been running yourself dry these last few days, Karma. Oh, that was perfect. My bad. It's nothing. Thank you. What's this? Our ice princess is thanking someone? Why is that something so strange? I tried to end. You know what? Yeah, fair enough. That was I don't want to deal with our killer. No. That'd be so fucked up. Oh, come on now. She's not so icy. Melody is more fire than anything. She is filled with unbridled passion and confidence. Confidence that has gotten me nowhere so far. Don't look so dour, Melody. You've become quite the accomplished woman. Karma gestures toward me and I flush, unsure of what he's talking about. Then I notice Delora's eyes are on me too. Oh, Parfait, did you see that? What are they looking at? I reach down and grab my necklace and then pause! I can't stop the gasp that leaves my lips. Hey, it was! We did get it! Hell yeah! When did this happen? Princess, you didn't realize that there was an extra piece to your necklace? Congrats, Princess Melody. You're a step closer to breaking your curse. We did get the good deed. I feel proud. I only ever felt this way around Mother. Yeah! She did me a great favor yesterday. If not for Melody, I might have suffocated beneath a pile. Blah blah blah. Okay. She did me a great favor yesterday. If not for Melody, I might have suffocated beneath a pile of very excited women. Wait, helping Karma escape was a good deed? She was selfless. He's not even mentioning the injury he got protecting me. Parfait and Delora are both smiling, but the cheerful mood does not last long. We did it, yeah, we did. That was great. What were you all talking about before I came down? About your kidnapping. Well, kidnappings. Both of them. It looks like we have a serious problem on our hands. What do you know about this? What does Waltz know that I don't? Princess, it's more about what everyone knows that you don't. Even you? Bastard. What everyone else knows? I feel anger begin to shimmer inside of me. Simmer. Bleh, not shimmer. Even though he looks apologetic, he says it so casually. What are you all hiding from me? Let's gather everyone later, shall we? I think Waltz might want to be here for this too. What does Waltz have to do with any of it? Everything, sweetie. Be patient, princess. You've already waited this long. What's another few hours? I have no choice but to agree when Parfait and Delora refuse to say any more, but I am not happy about it. I spend the rest of my day doing idle chores around the tavern. I do a round of sweeping with Mr. Broom and mindlessly organize some of the bottles. I cannot believe everyone knows something about me that I don't. But now, I'll find out the entire story. Maybe I'll answer some of the questions I have. But why are they keeping things about me a secret to begin with? Delora gathers everyone in the tavern to discuss the kidnappings. I decide to sit in between Waltz and Karma. So, we have a story to tell. Story time, huh? I don't suppose this would be a romance, would it? How can you stand to make comments like that constantly? How can you stand to live a lie? The two glare at each other across the table, but Delora silences them. Delora starts with the story about the Great War, one I've already heard so many times I can recite it myself. What does any of this have to do with me? Because of fairy tales, witches like myself were punished for simply existing. Our leader, the Ten, was a kind witch that was overtaken by the grief that our people suffered. She was driven so far into madness, she created the fairy tale curse to punish humans and make them suffer as the witches had. And when that wasn't enough, she committed the ultimate taboo. He needs a haircut. He does. She killed a human. I tried to stop her, but by the time I thought to act, it was too late. Knowing that Delora and Parfait were involved in the Great War makes it seem more real. But wasn't the Ten Bearer killed? How can the fairy tale curse continue to spread if she is dead? I believe that the Ten Bearer sacrificed the last bit of her life to continue powering the Ten. All to ensure that the remaining witches could continue spreading the fairy tale curse. Is none of this ringing a bell for you? What are you talking about? She really did erase your memories. Erase? The witch who died, the Ten Bearer, was your mother, Princess Melody. What? For some reason, I turned to look at Karma, who is one of the only people who doesn't look away from me. I grew up outside this kingdom, but even I knew of the terrible witch, Hildery. You expect me to believe any of this? Mother, she wasn't a witch. I would remember that. Well, you would if you had any memories of the war, and the years before that. Under Hildery's rule, the palace was a dark place. The king didn't have any real power until Hildery was defeated. That goes for the rest of us, too. We were slaves to Hildery. Delora's eyes flickered to Waltz. It's the truth. Waltz knows because he is also a witch. He experienced Hildery's command over the witches firsthand as well. Waltz is a witch? Sorry for keeping it a secret, princess. It's not if I can use much magic anymore anyway, not when I'm cursed. This is another secret of many. It seems like everyone is hiding something. Everyone was freed after Hildery's reign. Witches, fairies, humans alike. The king was even able to marry Ophelia, the woman he always truly loved. Sorry, my laughing will make sense when we go through a different playthrough. My laughing of... yeah, So, it has always been Ophelia that he truly loved. Was that the reason I never felt any love for him? Because I was my mother's daughter? He gave up on me. No, dear, I don't think he gave up on me. I can really need... yeah. Yep. My voice is too loud in the reception area. I feel it crack beneath the pressure. And suddenly I want to cry. My mother told me so many times not to cry. The king gave up on me, but mother didn't. Mother would tell me this was all a lie. She would tell me not to trust anyone. They must be lying. I turned to Karma. For some reason, I trust him more than I trusted Laura or Parfait. Is this the truth? I was told the story of Hilary and her daughter Melody. They said you were the picture of elegance, but that you shared your mother's icy nature. But I don't think that's true at all. If Hilary was ice, then you most certainly are a warm fire. If my mother was a witch, then what does that make me? You're a witch as well. Whether or not you were ever taught to use magic, on your upcoming birthday you will become the 10-bearer. Do you realize how ridiculous this all sounds? Me, a witch? The king never said anything. And now I cannot even ask him if this is the truth because I am cursed. Why would you even curse me? Sneeze. I had to sneeze. Such an emotional scene, and I had to ruin it by sneezing. We don't want a repeat of the tragedy, Melody. I sat on your shelves for almost a year, princess. There was ice in your... Thank you. Ice in your heart, and if you inherited the 10 in that state, who knows what would have happened? Then why didn't you just tell me any of this? Delora and Parfait look at each other before dropping their gazes to the ground. If we had told you before, would you have even bothered to listen? The king might have tried to do the same thing, and look how that turned out. You shut everyone who tried to tell you about Hilary's true nature. That is probably true. Even now, I'm having trouble believing that they were telling me the truth. The father still sucks. I am still ahead, he still sucks. The whole world feels as if it's collapsing around me. I need to escape. I need to go out and be somewhere else, but why are the witches looking for me? You are the heir to the Tiram. Frozen references. No doubt the evil witches want you on their side, so they can continue wreaking havoc in Angelia with the fairy tale curse. The men that were looking for Melody are not witches, though. They were knights. Perhaps the witches and the knights are working together. This must be part of Alacaster's scheme to steal the throne. Oh, I forgot we learned about this here, too. Yeah, so our mother's a horrible woman. We were raised in her image, so we could basically do the same thing she did. And that's obviously not going to happen now. But also, hey, the palace might be under corruption right now. What are you talking about? The reason why Garland and I left the Order of Caldria was because the king did not believe us about Alistair's coup. How would he have known of the princess's identity, though? Anyone who isn't a witch, a fairy, or isn't cursed shouldn't be able to remember her. But now we know that it's not just the witches looking for the princess, but the knights of the Order of Caldria as well. They definitely have a description of her from someone. Fitz. Melody? Karma reaches out a hand to touch my shoulder, and I flinch back before standing up. I cannot speak about this now. I want to be alone. Let her go. She'll need a lot of time to think. Coop? I don't know, man. I thought I said it right, did I not? Oh, wait, hold on. That looks so cool. Look, there's just a lilies bloom in the corner. That's so cool. Sorry. Coop. Cool. Whatever. I leave everyone sitting at the table as I try to process the whirling thoughts in my mind. Hilary, my mother, the only person I ever thought loved me, was the Ten Bear, a witch, the first witch to kill a human. The witch that started the fairy tale curse. All this time... No, it's French. Don't pronounce the P. Okay, so it's coup. Got it. Coup. Time for crusade. Also, it is cool. Cool. All this time I thought Mother was the only one who cared, but what if she never did? I stay in my room for a long time, trying to process everything I've been told. Hey, Carm. Days go by before I decide to leave the tavern again to watch Karma practice with the knights. These last few days I felt hollow. Maybe seeing the normal practices will help me feel better. Maybe it'll Maybe it will make things feel like nothing's changed. When I arrive at the forest, however, only Karma is standing in the clearing. He's staring through the trees as if he sees something there, but his expression is solemn, almost sad. Eventually he sighs, shaking his head before turning in my direction. Melody! I prepare myself for a response, but find that no words come to mind. I have not spoken to Karma since the talk about Mother and the witches, and any ease I felt with him before has slipped away. Still, I came here on my own. I cannot stand here being mute. I say the first thing that comes to mind. Where are Julian and Garland? I only train with Garland. Julian is on patrol duty tonight. He'll be here later. I just came early. It seems you did too. Melody, are you okay? I'm sorry I haven't been by to see you. It's not as if you owe that to me. I don't owe it to you, but I truly wanted to. I've been busy these last few days, scouting the town for information. As much as I want you to come with me, why would you ever have wanted to pair up with someone like me anyway? Wait, Princess, that's because I am bitter and cold, and even though I want to change, all I can think about is myself. But now, I want to change because I do not want to be the same as my mother. Isn't that selfish? Maybe so, but I believe you're being Why are words not working right now? Maybe so, but I believe you're being selfish for the right reasons. An entirely selfless person cannot survive in this world. Before we can make others happy, we have to be happy ourselves. Happy ourselves? Yes, an angry person holds resentment toward everyone, and it mars whatever good deeds they seek to do. That is why I cannot complete my good deeds. Wrong. You've already got one done. Recognizing the need for change is always a good thing, Melody. Regardless of the motivation, you're trying to become a better person. That is what matters. He takes a step towards me, then puts his hands on my shoulders and leans down until I can look him right into his eyes. Karma's serious expression startles me as much as his touch. It is never too late for anyone to change. You taught me that. What? How could I have taught Karma anything? Do you mind if I tell you a story, Melody? He is standing close. Move away or don't move away. That is, bud. We mad right now. So move away. I take a step away from him and Karma's hands fall from my shoulders. He sighs out. The story better be just as dramatic as mine. Thank you, Melody. For what? For agreeing to listen. And for what you just did. Stepping away from him? Was I distracting him? Why was that a good option? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a crown prince from a kingdom called Bragantira? Brew. Calling it Brew. Brew is one of the neighboring kingdoms, so this isn't make-believe. His name was Claude. Holy shit, man. Nope. Claude Alamonti. But because his name was such a mouthful, he settled for acronym as a nickname, at least around the palace, where it was acceptable. Hold on, what? Claude Karma. Prince Claude was a man who flaunted his beauty and talents to all that he met. He often used his title to get what he wanted. Prince Claude was a selfish man who felt he was entitled to everything that he had. He was vain and often left his castle unattended so that he could avoid his responsibilities. Then one day, he chanced upon a beautiful maiden in the town square. He led her around the whole day, being as charming as he possibly could. Then, at the end of the day, he asked the woman to be his lover. She agreed, but their time together did not last long. Only weeks later, Prince Claude threw her away as one throws away an object and broke the woman's heart. And she cursed him. That beautiful maiden was a witch, but Prince Claude found out too late. The witch said she will make his beauty, his vanity, a curse. To make even a beauty a curse. Ashamed of being cursed, Prince Claude donned a disguise and left his kingdom behind. He has been gone for nearly a year now, and most probably assume he is dead. But in truth, the prince had came to Angelia, seeking a way to break his curse. He had heard of a young lady named Melody, who, on her 18th birthday, could dispel any curse. Karma. He looks sad. I don't know how to comfort him. Claude. Karma. Claude turns a startling red as he stares at me, and for a few moments he does not speak. Then he bursts out laughing. I stare at him in shock, not understanding his reaction. I feel myself flush. Isn't that your real name? No, darling, it is, but hearing you say my name, well, it sounds so much softer out of your lips. I rather like it. For fuck's sakes, man! My cheeks are warm again. How is it possible that he is always able to make me feel this way? I will call you by that name if it makes you so happy. Let's make it a secret between the two of us. I'm still Miss Karma here. And besides, I'd rather you keep that name for my ears only. It makes me feel more special that way. More special? At that moment, Garland shows up for practice, and Claude politely excuses himself. I watch the two of them trade blows. Claude favors his other hand, but his blows still come quickly, even with his injury. The more Claude tells me, the more I realize he's like me, a noble curse for being selfish. But how do I break his curse? Why can't he tell me? How do I help him break his curse, Nia? As practice is drawing to a close, Claude asks Garland the usual question. Have you confessed to Julian yet? Garland only shakes his head in reply. The two men sheath his swords, and Garland looks almost sad as he turns to make his way back to the tavern. He likes her, and yet he won't say anything. Why is that frustrating me so much? Garland. Yes, princess? Fucking, you have to tell her. It's an order now. Claude told me before that confessing is hard, but what Garland is going through looks even harder. Princess, you know I'm incapable. No, you think you're incapable. But if you never say anything to her, you'll never know. If I say something wrong, I risk losing everything that I already have with her. And if you say nothing, you risk losing what you could have with her. Melody is right. Maybe you should really tell her, Garland. But before, Claude was so adamant that Garland shouldn't confess to Julian. What happened? What happened or what changed? What changed? If I mess this up, let's try looking at it through another lens. Imagine that Julian is Melody. How do you think she would like to be confessed to? Not at all. I frowned at the two men, arms crossed. Excuse me? Well, you and Julian are very similar. You're both very straightforward. Confess to the princess? My eyes moved to Claude, but only fleetingly, before they are once again on Garland. You just need to do something simple, Garland. Something that will not rub her the wrong way. A maiden's heart is ever fragile, and each woman is different. Claude is wearing an amused smile on his face, but he's looking at me, not Garland. I feel my face flush, and I have to look away. Melody, you're tomato red again. It is adorable. I cross my arms over my rapidly beating heart again and force a scowl on my face. No, I was just thinking about what Garland should do. Something simple. Like when Karma kissed my hand, Garland kissing Julian's hand is probably not a good idea. Maybe he could do what Claude and I did that one day in town. He could buy her some food and they can just talk. Garland, have you ever just asked Julian out for food? Not alone. Julian is practical and she always eats at the tavern. She's also always on duty if she's available. I'll take her patrol shift 2 nights from now, and tomorrow you can ask her out for a meal. We can make your invite a grand affair. We can drape banners on the walls, or could give you a rose. That sounds like a terrible idea. I am offended. I feel like if I did something like that for Julian, she would get embarrassed and punch me. Sounds like another lady that I know. Claude grins at me, but I just roll my eyes. Garland, just ask her normally, and then when you're out and alone together, you can confess. And we'll make sure you have time to do it. I'll purposely come late to practice tomorrow night, so you can ask her out for that date. How does that sound? You two really think I can do this? You just have to ask the question. Whatever follows will be at least an answer. Tomorrow night, then. Good man. I'm sure it'll go swimmingly. Or I could drown. You won't drown, Garland. Garland excuses himself with a nervous smile before Claude turns to me expectantly with a mischievous grin. Now, Melody, we'll come here early tomorrow and spy on them. We need to scope out a good spot. Spy on them? Of course, we need to make sure that our efforts pay off. I don't think we should. You don't want to see how it plays out? I mutely shake my head, unable to put my emotions into words. For some reason, I imagine myself in Julian's position. It feels too personal. Claude's likeliness suddenly springs to my mind, and I feel my face grow hot again. Melody, you've been oddly out of it today. Claude reaches out a hand toward me, but then abruptly pulls away. I stare as he smiles at me, almost sheepishly. The conversation between us dies, and we return to the margin. Days pass, though I did not spy on the conversation between Julian and Garland. I noticed that Garland has been smiling from ear to ear during his practice with Claude recently. I can only assume his confession went well. Claude took the patrol shift tonight, and as I lay in my bed, I am restless. Every time I watch Claude practice with Julian and Garland, I am reminded of the palace of Fitz. I wonder how Fitz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of bed and make my way to the reception room. The night air is cool, and no one stops me from standing just outside the mansion. I cannot sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I do not want Claude. It takes over months instead of someone just I know, I love that too. It's not just like an immediate change. It is fully telling you, no, this took time. This took work. And even then, it took a long time for her to just open up a tiny bit. Like a few months before she finally, you know? It's really nice. Because, like, that's fair. People don't just change. And it can take a long time. So, yeah, it's one of the things that I love most about this. I do not want Claude getting hurt because of me again. Eventually, I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual, but when he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Melody, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Oh, whoa. Sir? Sir? That's new. Love. Instead of darling. That's new. Hello, Claude. His face is dark red again. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask for something serious. How could he know that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. What? Oh, this is not a... Is this not about... Okay, never mind. I'm asking if you will be my instructor. For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use a sword. I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use a sword. I do not want you to keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princesses shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. You are. I do not want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me, please. Claude. Once again he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction, and it is both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine. I'll train you. You won't learn in a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords. Thank you. Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you. But aren't you tired? He looked exhausted when he came in, and now he wants to train? Ugh. Already trying to get out of training? I am not. Claude shakes his head, but he's smiling. I'll see you there in a few minutes, love. Moonlight spills through the trees, illuminating the forest with a gentle light. Long minutes pass as I stand in the clearing. I begin to feel restless. It isn't like Claude to be late. Is he tending to his injury? I hear rustling in the leaves and turn immediately to see what the disturbance is, but the minute I do, I am pulled back by a strong force and my world goes dark.